want to talk to you about life. Because it's just too difficult to be alive, isn't it? We're trying to function. See, I tried to buy a can of tuna fish at the supermarket, but there was this person stood in the way. And I waited a while to see if they'd move. They didn't. They were looking at the tuna fish too, but they were taking like a real long time on it. You know, reading the ingredients on each can like they were a book. You know, pretty boring book if you'd asked me, but no one has. So anyway, I waited a while to see if they'd move, and they didn't. And you know, I thought about asking them to move, but then I had this fear that it would do no good, like no good at all. So I started to cry, you know, out of frustration, quietly, not to disturb anybody. But even though I was still softly sobbing, this stupid person just didn't grasp that I need to get by them to reach the tuna fish. I hate people. They're so insensitive. So anyway, I reached over with my fist and brought it down real hard on his head and just screamed, "Would you kindly move, arsehole?" That person fell down and looked totally startled. And there was a child nearby that started to cry, you know. I was still crying, so I shouted at the child to stop crying! Because, I mean, it was drawing too much attention to me. Anyway, I ran out the supermarket and got into a taxi and thought I'd go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Because I need to be surrounded by culture right now. Not tuna fish. She killed her daughter with a knife. Cut her to shreds. Her husband works for the US Embassy, and while there is no way legally that footage should be released to the public, he's very keen. Well, he thinks people should know. So I have a feeling it'll be out there in about 20 minutes. And I'm also going to tell my head of communications to circulate everything about Simon. Our involvement, the fact that you were there. The personal reason for this protest. Well, it'll come out at 5 o'clock. To be involved in one death might be a mistake, but to be involved in both is too much of a coincidence, even for you. She was 11. Her name was Ruby and she liked reading and ballet. I think you make people do stupid things. I think you encourage people to take the brakes off. Yes, I think you had something to do with my son's death, and I think you had something to do with the little girl's death. You lecture me about compromise, but compromise is safe. Compromise is discussion and thought. Compromise is experience and making the best possible decision, not the most exciting. This country should have a manager.